When we look for our perfect college, it's like sailing into the unknown. How do we know where we're going? Will we make it, or will the sun set before we have the opportunity to arrive? I've often wondered how and why I ended up at San Diego State University. I think the answer lies in my mother, Casey Jones-Rubam. I've always admired my mom and wanted to be like her. My mom graduated from SDSU. I wanted to go to SDSU. I knew SDSU was the place for me before I started applying to colleges. My brother is 3 years older than me, and I had gone to tour different college campuses when he was getting ready to apply to schools. Whenever we stepped on a campus, it just felt like another campus. It didn't feel like home. From that point on, I had it in my head that I wanted to go to SDSU. When it came my turn to apply to colleges, I didn't tour any schools. I applied to various schools around California and even a couple in other states. In December of my senior year, I received a letter that I had been given early acceptance to SDSU. I didn't even open my other letters from colleges. I had never toured SDSU. Explore SDSU was held in March, the spring before I would be in college, so we visited the campus. It immediately felt like home. In June, I graduated from high school, and 2 months later, I moved in. Freshman year sucked. I loved my classes and would call my mom every day to tell her about them. That was basically the only good part. I lived in a suite with 6 other girls, and it just wasn't what I had expected. We got along for the most part, but strong friendships were not built, and I knew no one else in my building. I was in a long-distance relationship and cried almost every night because I missed William and didn't know when I would see him again, or if we would be able to stick through the tough times. After I convinced my parents to let me bring my car down, I went home every weekend and every chance I got. I made no real connections to SDSU or the people around me. I was miserable when I was at SDSU, and I was miserable when I was at home because I knew I would have to leave again and go back to SDSU. I loved the school. I hated my experience. I began stressing about the next years, and not only my experience, but the costs of living I had to pay. My brother had been an RA at his college, so I applied to be one at SDSU. Room and board is included in the job. I was already sort of depressed at this point because of my experience with my roommates and William, and my lack of involvement. I didn't get the job. I was offered an alternate position, which means that they didn't have a place for me at that time, but I still had the possibility of becoming a staff member. I had decided it would be okay and I could just live at home and commute to SDSU, about a 45-minute drive with no traffic. This would be a blessing in disguise because I would get to spend more time with William. I didn't think about the job or school at all during that dreary summer between freshman and sophomore year. 1 week before sophomore year started, I got a phone call. They had a spot for me as an RA. I accepted with some reluctance. This is where my life changed. I came back to SDSU as a part of something. I got involved in more aspects than classes and really started connecting and enjoying my experience. This is how I got to where I am now, my graduate program. I want to help make a difference in others' experiences by helping them connect to campus. It really can make all the difference.